After a promising start at the Calgary Herald, I took the train across Canada and sailed to London to make a name for myself. But after a year as a junior reporter on the Gazette, my biggest assignment was a dispatch on the opening of the King's private zoo. I was going nowhere, until one day, I decided to speak up for myself. Good from Arthur yet?
No, nothing yet, Mr. Malone.
Evening, Mr. Malone.
Is there Jim Hartle in there?
He is. I was just off to give him these.
Where the hell is that boy?
Coming, sir.
Let me do it, Jim. Mr. McCardle?
Evening, sir.
Mr. Johnson? I need to speak with you right now.
Oh, really? Well, what is it, Malone?
I request a transfer to the front, sir, of whatever war that might be in need of a good reporter.
Oh, I'm sorry, Malone, but we have a shortage of good wars at the moment.
Oh, well, whatever dangerous assignment that might justify a man's existence.
Justify a man's existence.
Yes, sir. Preferably far, far away.
Well, I'm afraid I have no wars or distant, exotic places. I might send a junior reporter.
There is one assignment of some importance.
What's that?
That might be just the thing you're looking for. Professor George Edward Challenger.
Oh, yes. Yes, we do need a good man to get an interview with him. Well, that's a challenge you want, my boy. This is your man. There are some who say he's the most dangerous man in all London.
But I know that you are just the man to handle this. Now, if you'll excuse us, we do have a paper to get out tonight.
Oh, yes. Thank you, sir. So you will not regret giving me this opportunity.
£5. He doesn't get past Challenger's front door.
What's the angle, Mr. Malone?
The angle was, I'd been had.
You off to get an interview?
They'd laugh out of the other side of their faces if I could just get the Gazette a scoop. The only interview with this Professor Challenger, whoever he was. Everybody back home says I'm a whiz with accents, so I sent him a note posing as a foreign scientist. He fell for it.
Don Milano, I received your letter, and though I cannot think of what part you may have in any discussion of my work, I will deign to meet with you at the requested time at my dwelling. You will have 2 minutes only. Yours faithfully, George Edward Challenger.
Come stai, signora?
Yes?
I have an appointment with the great Professor Challenger.
You've obviously never met my employer.
I've not had the honor, signora.
Well, I apologize to you in advance. He's an absolutely impossible person. Absolutely impossible. Forewarned. As they say, he's forearmed.
It is a most considerate of you, Signora. Forewarned.
Go quickly out of the room if he seems inclined to violence. And don't wait to argue with him. Several people have been injured doing that.
I shall try to keep that in mind, but I've no intention of arguing with the great
Whatever
professor.
you do, don't mention reporters.
Reporters, of course.
That's as good a way as was ever invented to ensure a violent rage from the man. Professor Challenger, your guest has arrived. Now remember what I told you.
Professor Challenger.
Giuseppe Milano?
Yes, I have come very far, and at my own expense, though that's no problem, to tell you that you...
You say that you are a great admirer of my work. What exactly do you admire?
Your great research into the field of animals.
My research on animals. Of my vast body of work in a myriad of fields, you are particularly fascinated by my research on animals. Is that what they're teaching of mine in, Italy, was it?
Yes.
Oh, where exactly in Italy?
Milano?
Giuseppe Milano from Milano. How neat. Per lei, l'antice craniale è un fattore costante e il seme plasmatico differente dal uovo partenogenetico.
Sì.
Sì.
Tu sei una donna grassa, calva, con foruncoli sul sedere e due mucche verdi che danno latte rossa.
Ah, sì.
See. So you agree that the cranial index is a constant factor, and that you're a fat, bald woman with boils in your behind and two green cows that give purple milk. You're the damnedest imposter in London. A vile, crawling journalist with no more Italian blood in you than you have human decency in your composition.
Sir, I only hoped
To make a name for yourself by furthering the preposterous lies and fairy tales that are told about George Edward Challenger. It's time that you had your ears clipped, and by God, George Edward Challenger's the man to do it.
Listen here, sir. You can be as abusive as you like. All right, I'm not Italian. In fact, I'm Canadian by birth, but there is a limit. You shall not assault me.
Shall I not? You will not be the first of your kind that I have thrown out of this house. You will, in fact, be the 28th, I believe.
Don't be a fool, Professor. I'm 165 pounds, as hard as nails, and some 20 years you're better.
Had enough.
What's all this?
This maniac attacked me.
Did you attack him? It's not the first time either. You were in trouble last month for the same thing. And the month before. Do you want to charge him, sir?
No, I don't. I was to blame. I intruded on him. He gave me fair warning.
Well, you're the first one not to charge him. Let's have no more such goings-on from you. If there's any more trouble from him, you call me straight away, man.
Now what?
Come up with me, Mr.
Edward Malone.
Come on up, Mr. Malone. Come on up. Fun and frolics in this house. Sit down, Malone. So, Mr. Giuseppe Malone, journalist and famous Italian impersonator. Why have you gone to such extravagant, albeit inept, lengths to find me?
I need a break, sir. I need to make a name for myself at the Gazette, so I asked them for a challenge, and the paper sent me to you.
McArdle and Johnson up to their old tricks again, eh?
Uh-huh.
So, you want a challenge, eh? Here. Take a look at that.
Maple White. Maple? That's an unusual name. It's, pretty pedestrian stuff.
Press on.
What is this?
That, my young friend, is the lost world.
Two years ago, I journeyed to the upper reaches of the Lualaba River in the heart of Central Africa. It was my business to visit that little-known and partially explored country and to examine and catalogue the fauna. I was interrupted from my studies when I was summoned by a passing tribesman to the deathbed of a fellow traveler, an American.
Over there.
I knew nothing of this man, nor what service I, with only a slight knowledge of things medical, might do for him. But the tribesmen were insistent. Inside, I found a man who, through later perusal of his scant belongings, I discovered to be one Maple White. tribesmen had found him stumbling through the jungle, bleeding and half mad with sickness.
My drawings. A sketchbook. You must go there. They won't believe you. It's all true, you see. It's all true. It's the lost world.
It is his sketchbook that you hold in your hand.
From the contents of the knapsack, it was quite clear that Maple White was something of an artist and also something of an adventurer. You ever seen anything like that?
No, I haven't.
And to what known species might that bone belong?
I must confess that I haven't the faintest notion.
You need not be ashamed to confess your ignorance, for I doubt that the entire membership of the Royal Zoological Institute could identify it. It belongs, I am quite sure, to that beast there.
What the hell is that?
That is exactly what I was intrigued to find out. So intrigued that I resolved at that very moment to abandon my own travel itinerary and to set out to find that strange place.
I continued downriver by canoe. And my companions were Pedro, a Portuguese who served as a translator, and a powerful man named Puja, the leader of my small band of native bands. I had found a rudimentary map in Maple White's belongings, and I set out to retrace his steps. The map was vague and difficult to follow. Many times we were forced to retrace our path after days of futile paddling in the wrong direction. After many weeks on the river, I finally found the spot where Maple White had gone ashore. We continued on foot for many days, our supplies of food running dangerously low. It was tough going, and it began to wear at our strength and at Pedro's loyalty. Unbeknownst to myself or the loyal Pujo, Pedro had become fixated upon the knapsack. He was sure it contained some great treasure, jewels or valuable stones, because I guarded it so intently. This I did not learn until we'd almost reached the hidden plateau of Maple White's book, and by then it was almost too late.
Pedro, what the devil are you...
Pedro had cut my leg to the bone. Our bearers ran off into the night. There was no choice but to turn back. But first, I had to get a glimpse of the astonishing world Maple White had sketched. When I saw that great vista, the pain in my legs seemed to disappear. For I knew that I had found something tremendous, tremendous, and completely unprecedented.
Found it, Pujo. We found it. That was all I saw of him. A glimpse. But it was enough to make me believe.
Believe what?
That what I had seen was a pterodactyl. A creature thought extinct for millions of years, and that they lived there, in a world cut off from evolution and the forces of nature. The lost world.
That's quite a story.
And I'm afraid that is all my colleagues are inclined to call it. A story. No one would believe me. On my return to London, I attempted to communicate my great find to my colleagues of the Royal Zoological Institute, only to be met with derision and cruel jokes.
Certainly you had photographs or some kind of proof.
Oh, all lost. Lost in a run-in with some rapids that capsized our canoe and nearly cost Pujo and myself our lives. Now, if you were inclined not to believe the story, what do you say to that?
I think that any man that has the courage to make a claim like yours, to seem foolish, to accept ridicule and not give up the fight, I think that man has earned the right to be heard out.
You are no fool, Malone! You are no fool at all! You want a challenge, is that it? Well, by God, you shall have one. Your coming here today has given me a capital idea. An idea of how to turn the tables on all those fools that scoff at me. Oh. Come with me tonight, and I will give you the challenge of your life.
An exclusive interview with the infamous George Edward Challenger. And what a story. I mean, this is front page material. Old man McCardle's gonna lose his £5 bet. Too bad.
Mr. Malone! Mr. Malone?
Jim, what are you doing here?
I thought you might need an assistant.
I thought I was going to be the youngest reporter in London. Come on. Let's see what troubles we can get into, eh?
Ladies and gentlemen, please can we have some quiet? Thank you. Now to business. We are gathered here today to present an award of honor to our distinguished colleague, Professor Summerlee.
Where's Challenger?
He's probably out in the streets slugging it out with a cabbie over the price of a fare.
Distinguished guests, friends. You are no friend of mine. How dare you? I repeat, you're no friend of mine, Waldron, nor of science. If you are, as I suspect, about to lavish praises on that boring fraud who dares to call himself a scientist.
Challenger, you scoundrel, are you referring to me?
That I am, Summerlee. If you wish to honor the man that made Professor Summerlee the exalted scholar he is today, then honor me.
That's quite enough, Challenger.
Professor Summerlee's entire distinguished academic career has been made solely by rebutting, by his own personal standards.
The man
my
has flair.
theories.
I'll give him that.
While I risked life and limb, accumulating the hard facts of science and molding them into theories, Professor Summerlee sat comfortably by his nice kitchen fire in his armchair.
Theories, facts. No, Professor Challenger, fantasies. Pipe dreams. Claims of such little worth as, say, the discovery of what you call the lost world.
Oh, you may laugh. You may laugh. All discoverers have met with the same response. You deride those who push back the frontiers of science. You persecute the prophets. Galileo, Darwin, Challenger.
Or perhaps you've already found Galileo and Darwin living happily in that lost world of yours.
No, sir, I did not. But you may.
What do you mean by that?
Are you prepared to stand by your word? I demand that this institution mount an expedition to examine my findings, to verify or disprove my claims that prehistoric life still exists upon this planet. I demand it in the name of science. And I demand that Professor Summerlee leads the expedition.
Professor Challenger's motion will be discussed in due course. In due course. Order, we will have order. In the meantime...
In the meantime, we are left to wonder if perhaps the professor's claims are true.
And who might you be, young man?
I'm Edward Malone from the Gazette.
I think the people of London, my readers, deserve to know the truth.
Yes, well, I'm sure you and your readers would like nothing better than have the Institute spend a fortune travelling far and wide simply to refute the claims of a well-known madman and liar.
You libelous pedant!
Yes, sir. And what's more, I volunteer to go on this expedition. That is, if you are leading it, sir.
What are you going to say, Summerlee?
Well, Summerlee?
I will be delighted to lead any expedition that will expose Professor Challenger as the utter fool I know him to be.
Very well, then. It is decided. Professor Summerlee will lead this expedition to Africa, and Mr. Malone will report upon his findings to the newspapers. Are there any other volunteers?
Could I come?
Boy.
I volunteer. I would like to join this expedition.
Well, if there are no more serious volunteers, I announce this meeting adjourned.
Excuse
the
me.
governors of the Institute will meet tomorrow morning to discuss
Chairman.
the funding of the
Mr. Chairman, I
Summerlee
demand you hear
expedition.
me out. Mr. Chairman!
I want to go, Mr. Malone. I could be a big help. You know I could.
Well, I don't know, Jim. I mean, these scientists won't be too happy to have a reporter along, to take a boy as well.
I'm not a boy. I'm almost 13. You have to let me go.
I just don't see how I can manage it, Jim.
I thought you were my friend.
What, Jim?
Congratulations, That's a really good show.
Thanks very much. Jim, wait!
It's out of the question. I will not have Challenger on my expedition.
Your expedition? I have explored Africa for over 20 years.
You nominated me as leader, Challenger. I will not have you along messing up my well-made plans. If he goes, I will not.
Confound you, Summerlee. I will stay behind.
Miss, you simply mustn't go in there.
No way you're going to
Yes?
stop me. I'm going in.
This is private.
My card, Professor Murray.
Miss J.A. Nielsen of Chicago.
I'm sorry to interrupt, gentlemen, but I was not given a chance to speak last night.
Unforgivable. The students are a rowdy lot, you see.
I would like to join this expedition.
Good Lord, a suffragette.
Exactly.
I am an experienced wildlife photographer, Professor, for the Smithsonian and the National Geographic Society, among others. You will need documentation of anything you find in Africa. I have traveled most of the world and could possibly...
Yes, I'm sure you have, my dear. I'm sure you have. But unfortunately, the policy of this institute does not allow women to go on our expeditions.
Policy. Well, gentlemen, it's 1912. I'd say it's time you changed your policy. You'll be hearing from me.
Monstrous. Extraordinary.
Her family is one of the wealthiest in America and great contributors to science. Perhaps we could consider...
Murray, I am adamant the woman will not go on the expedition. She will only endanger the mission.
Morning, my dear.
Good morning, Professor Murray.
Morning, Balloon.
Professor Murray, I thought we agreed that the policy of the Institute...
My
would not
dear Summerlee, I have to inform you. The directors of the Institute have granted a special approval for Miss Nielsen to accompany your expedition as our official photographer. She offered to fund the entire project. My dear Summerlee, how could we say no?
Good luck, Miss Nielsen. Get a fine photograph of my pterodactyl.
Professor Challenger, I assure you, if there's anything to photograph, I'll get it.
If we could get on board, please. We do have a timetable.
I do wish I was going with you both.
Hello! Tarp Henry, over here.
Excuse me. For the long, hot nights. Bon voyage, old chap. Good luck. Happy hunting, all that.
Thanks. Dispatch to the London Gazette by Edward Malone. After much controversy, the Summerlee expedition set out today for Darkest Africa. Some members of the expedition doubt the wisdom of leaving Professor Challenger behind, but Summerlee is adamant. The question remains, however, how will Summerlee lead us to a place he does not know?
Preposterous, Challenger. After all, I am the leader of the expedition. Cabin 5B, please.
Summerlee, you will take this letter, and you will not open it until you reach Kalimi at the headwaters of the Lualaba River. Then at the designated hour, you will open it, and you will receive your directions to the lost world.
Amateur theatrics. Come on, Mr. Malone. We've wasted enough time already.
Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, lad. That eye's looking better already. Oh, if only he wasn't such a pompous ass. Oh, I say, how good of you. Farewell. Fine sailing. Bon voyage, mon capitaine. Au revoir, Professor. Adieu.
Ah.
Is there someone down here?
Hard to get comfortable in here.
Stowaway, you say? Well, where is he? Oh, this is... Well, I thought it was... What's the meaning of this, boy?
I only wanted to help out, sir.
Help out? How could you possibly help out?
Well, I'm very handy, sir, and I wanted an adventure. I wanted a chance to prove myself.
Let me give him a talking to, Professor.
Yes, you do that. I've got more.
Jim?
Captain? Captain?
I'm surprised at you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Malone.
Yeah, well, don't be. I know what it's like to be ambitious. You gotta take chances. Jim, you're on the team now.
But Summerlee...
What's he gonna do? Turn the boat around? Throw you overboard? No, we're stuck with you. Shake on it. To the London Gazette. Dateline, Kalimi. This missionary outpost is at the farthest end of the road from Dar es Salaam. It is an odious collection of gold prospectors, natives, missionaries, Portuguese on the run from the law, donkeys, and goats. This is the last dispatch I can send by telegraph. From here, we travel down the Lualaba River through unsettled territory. We hope Professor Summerlee can find the spot from which Maple White trekked inland to the lost world.
Malu! Don't let the children wander off.
Excuse me. I couldn't help noticing that you're American. Edward Malone, London Gazette.
Kate Crenshaw. I run the settlement store.
Oh, and this is,
Rebecca.
Miss Rebecca?
It's not often that I meet someone new who speaks English.
Yes, well, we're hiring porters for an expedition up the river, and so far the only one we found that speaks any English is, him.
Ah, Gomez.
Yeah.
He's Portuguese from the coast. Not one of my best students. He learned the language, but I'm afraid the basic principles of Christian charity were lost on him.
I was afraid of that.
Personally, I have absolutely no doubt about your honesty. These testimonials you gave me are impressive. Very impressive.
We should hire only those men who are very strong, who can carry the heavy loads, and who know the river. Mojo! These are the men from the Mojo tribe. They are the best.
What language do they speak?
Only I can speak both their languages, yours and theirs.
That's not so, Gomez. Malu, could you come here? Professor Summerlee, could you join us for a moment, please? There's someone I'd like you to meet. This is Malu. She could accompany you as interpreter and guide.
It's an honor to meet you, sir.
My pleasure.
And you, sir.
You speak excellent English.
I learned at the mission school, sir. Miss Kate taught us well.
Certainly did. I'm Professor Summerlee. This is Edward. I'm Edward Malone. This is Professor Summerlee.
And I'm Jenny Nielsen. You don't have to call us sir or madam.
That rascal back there, that's Jim.
Is she the only one that can speak both languages?
Meeting capable women is a new experience for him.
I would like to come with you. That is, if you can manage the children, Miss Kate.
Oh, we'll get by somehow, Malu. We always do.
Very well. Gomez, you select the men and make the arrangements.
Yes, Professor.
Who are you? What do you want? Now, these canoes.
Tuppeny worth of old candies, miss.
Stocking up, are you? Are you part of the expedition?
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Ah, where are you going?
Oh, this has got to be the warmest.
No, not that one.
Why not?
Not really.
I did a photo story on a family of zebras at the San Francisco Zoo last spring. I'd hate to think of them turning out like that.
Personally, I'd rather be skinned than in a cage for the rest of my life.
I don't like to think of wild animals as caged or skinned, Mr. Malone. And I don't like people who make jokes about it.
Really? Well, I'm not freezing to death on account of some stupid idea about zebras' rights. I'll take it. And, 4 of those.
Attention, everybody. I have a very important announcement to make. To be opened at Kalimi upon the 15th of November at 12 o'clock precisely. 1 minute too should be precise enough. No map. This is the proof that the Lost World is a fraud and that buffoon Challenger is a liar and a fake.
Am I late? I thought the time agreed was 12 noon, if I recall correctly.
Perfect time.
This is your idea of a joke. I am not amused.
Oh, my dear Summerlee, you don't really think that I would allow you to go without me, do you? Besides, since I'm the only person who knows the way, they have to take me with them.
All right, you might be coming along, you scoundrel, but let us not forget who is in command of this expedition.
Of course not, my dear Summerlee.
Oh, wait up!
Somewhere on the Lualaba River, we've been paddling for 17 straight days. Sometimes we feel we're being watched from the jungle. But it's been a week since we saw a human being of any kind. Is Challenger lost?
How about a little help, Gomez?
so sorry, princess.
How far downriver do we travel?
Professor Challenge is the only one who knows. He's keeping it a secret.
If you have a map or a chart, Challenger, I should like to know where we are heading.
Any map is up here in my head, Summerlee. And as for where we're heading, you as the intrepid leader of our expedition should know. To the Lost World.
On the Lualaba. Much relief all around. Challenger has found the spot where Maple White's map says we should start inland.
Right. As far as we go by canoe, from here on it's on foot.
After 19 days on the water, all are happy to be on firm ground.
Listen!
What are they saying, Malu?
The drums speak to the tribes in the highlands. They say we are coming.
Right, we'll cover the canoes as best we can, and then press on.
We'll spend the night here and start early in the morning.
As you wish, Summerlee.
I'm sleeping over here. Gomez, my cot. Gomez!
Camp on the Lualaba. It is impossible to tell from the drums how close the natives are. We must be constantly on our guard.
I'll keep watch. You look cold.
You should see the zebra.
Alone?
Would you call me Edward? Please?
Edward. Do you think they want to stop us?
Maybe they do. Maybe they want their world to stay lost.
Go ahead. Come along now, chop chop.
Are they going to attack us, Professor?
Oh, I don't think so, my boy. Their purpose is far more subtle. They mean to frighten us.
It's working.
How much further, Challenger?
Oh, a day or 2 or 3.
Are we lost? Because if we are...
Seems that our pursuers will follow us no further. Which means, my dear Summerlee, we're getting close.
Wonderful.
Come on. Ah! Come here, you fellows. This is the place. There it is, just as I said.
Well, there's nothing remarkable. We've all seen igneous extrusions before.
You'll see, Summerlee. You'll see. The way ahead lies through that valley.
Well, it can't be any worse than the jungle. Come on.
Ande.
The closer we get to the cliff, the higher it looks. The rock face is sheer and very steep. There seems to be no way up. It looks like it may be impossible to climb.
It's not a pretty way to die.
John Coogan, Detroit. The companion of Maple White.
Somebody left him there to make sure we got the message. Visitors not welcome.
Challenger!
Don't shoot! It's Pujo! Pujo!
Yes, Challenger.
My good and faithful friend, how did you find us?
In Kalimi. I learned too late of your return, but the drums tell me where you are.
You've arrived in good time. We are about to enter the lost world.
Homicide.
Good heavens!
Bye-bye.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see anything.
Damn your dim old eyes, Summerlee. That was a pterodactyl.
Oh, fiddlesticks is a stork.
A stork? Why not a giant African fruit bat as blind as you are?
And you, sir, are a fantasist.
Unless we can fly like a bird, pterodactyl or otherwise, how do we get up there?
Yes, well, what do we do now?
We are better prepared than you think, Summerlee. George, that box. Put it there.
Professor Challenger, you never cease to amaze me.
And you continue to delight me, Jenny.
Need some help, Professor?
No. George, the grappling hook.
George, tipe pomoiro.
Right, everybody stand well back. Now, you might care to cover your ears. 1, 2, 3. First time! Right, who's going up first? I'm a little overweight for this sort of thing.
I've never climbed a mountain in my life.
I must admit that in my youth, my hobby was mountaineering. Frankly, I was rather good.
Oh, come now, Summerlee, no time for your jokes.
I never joke about risking my neck.
Could I come?
Why not?
Up you go, then.
Dai, dinero, a posto.
You all right, lad?
Yes, sir.
Look at that.
We did it!
Heave! 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 Heave!
Take my hand.
You can do it, Mr. Malone. Good for you, sir. It's up the top, Pujo!
Yeah. Take a look, Malone. Quite vertiginous. Pujo.
Yes.
Take the man and set up a base camp.
Will do. Today's in Shinawa.
Gomez. Gomez!
Yes!
Guard the end of the rope.
Fine.
Any help with that camera, Miss Nielsen?
First, let me take your picture. Still? Good.
I'll be right there.
We should fence ourselves in with these thorn bushes. Who knows what's out there?
What was that?
Malone, come with me.
Challengers! You remember Pedro? Who died 2 years ago? You killed him. He was my brother. Now you are trapped and you will die.
You are a greater scoundrel than Pedro Gomez, and you deserve the same fate.
Save your ammunition, Professor. We may need it. We're stranded here.
Pythagoras said,
Base camp in the Lost World. With our long rope gone, we have no hope of getting back down the cliff. I hope this dispatch will somehow find its way to the Gazette, so I will continue writing.
Wrong, Challenger.
Despite our despair at being stranded on this plateau, we plan to begin exploration at first light.
Going to drop today's report in the next mailbox?
Actually, the last letter I sent back was from Kalimi. Yeah, Challenger won't let me publish till we return anyway.
Don't lose that notebook. I wonder, what's it really like out there? Edward, look. The stars are all turned around and the moon's on its side. It really is a different world out here.
Well, it's not London. Chicago, maybe.
Do you think Malu would find our world as strange as we find hers?
I never thought about it. Why?
I was just wondering. Good night.
Dinosaurs, thought extinct for millions of years, alive and well and standing before us. Challenger, I misjudged you. Let me shake your hand.
I must get a picture.
It's all right, Miss Nielsen. I believe that they are Anatosauri, plant-eating dinosaurs. Perfectly harmless.
But that doesn't apply to all dinosaurs, does it?
Oh, no. There were huge carnivorous dinosaurs, potentially man-eaters.
What?
All right, hold still, boys.
trekking in the lost world. One imagines an encounter with dinosaurs would be frightening, but the Anatosauri were not at all intimidating. We press on in search of new discoveries.
Oh, I say, I'd like to take some geological samples. It will help me establish the age of the plateau.
Go ahead, my dear Summerlee.
Oh, a bit of a stench. It's interesting.
What is?
It looks as if it could be oil-bearing.
Are you there, Professor Summerlee?
I'm all right, thank you. When I can find my blasted glasses. I have them.
What's down there, Professor?
It's extraordinary.
What is? Blast you! Don't keep us in suspense.
It's a cave of some sort. Very old. Probably the result of some geological upheaval. I need some light, please. Thank you.
Can you help me out, please?
Hang on!
Great Scott.
They're trying
Come on now.
Are you all right? Oh, good.
Confound you, Summerlee, you frightened them. They're all right now.
Oh, thank you, my dear. It's not very serious. Vicious birds.
Pterodactyls, Summerlee. Pterodactyls. Not birds, but the ancestors of birds. And judging from the rocks around that pit, they could have been there since the Triassic era.
Cretaceous era, I think. Challenger, I may have been wrong about the dinosaurs, but don't tell me my geology. It's my field.
Speaking of rocks, I've been looking at that one. You should be able to get a pretty good overall look at the plateau from the top.
You're not proposing to climb it, are you, dear boy?
Well, as we know, I'm not much of a climber, but,
No problem.
keep an eye out for snakes.
Well done, Jim.
There's a great big lake. It's amazing. I'll tell you all about it when I come down. I saw an ape, or a man.
What?
A little of both, actually. He had a painted face like a skeleton.
We'd better keep a close watch out tonight.
Yes.
Where are you going?
I'm sorry, Mr. Malone. I saw a lake from out that rock. I thought I'd investigate a little.
The jungle is no place for a kid. What? What is this, a late-night party?
Let me up.
Oh, up. Yeah.
You should learn to be more careful. If I hadn't recognized you, I would have used this.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, back to the camp.
I want to see that lake.
Jim?
It's not far.
All right, but I'm going first. The two of you follow close behind.
No. I think that I should go first. I am more accustomed to the jungle.
All right.
Come.
wonder what's under the water.
It's not an animal. That's sulfur. Nasty stuff. Well, I've seen enough for one night.
I'm right behind you. I read in a book that man-eating dinosaurs may have hunted at night.
I hope this dinosaur didn't read the same book. I think he did. Run!
You stink.
So do you.
Morning.
Morning.
It's a wonderful day.
I'm wondering what happened to us. I smell like a prehistoric fruit salad. So McCardle bet Johnson I couldn't do it.
Is that right?
No one's ever done this before. Getting into the Challenger, I mean.
Really?
So this whole thing... Jenny?
Jenny! Challenger!
Someone's been into camp.
Summerlee!
Blood!
Blood?
Jenny!
Oh, God, how could I have left them alone? Oh, poor Jenny.
It was that skeleton man.
More than one, I'd say. They know nothing about guns, so they wouldn't have left these.
The blood has left a trail. It's fresh, maybe an hour old.
Let's pray they're still alive.
There's Summerlee, and that's Jenny. What are they doing to them, and who are those other people?
It looks like they're preparing them for some kind of ritual. Where's the Challenger?
There, on the right. What's he up to?
Listen.
ndondo ya uri kuzvinzwa mutara kuenda kwakwanda kutaura uchakona uchasuka uchasara waondoroka nokuti chahokubata topinza
Challenger, Professor Challenger, Cambridge University, member of the Royal Zoological Society. Yes. Now look, my dear chap.
Uri kuona muri kuzvinzwa iroko
They're going to feed them to the dinosaurs.
But why?
No time to wait for an answer.
Wait, there's too many of them.
We can't just let them die.
Wait a second. I just remembered something I read in a book. It might just work. I need wood for a very hot fire and the lining of your jacket. Quickly.
Jim's idea works.
There it is.
Balloon! Balloon from the gods! Run! Run for it, somebody!
Excuse me, please. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you.
Malone! I thought you'd never get here.
This way!
Good work, Balloon.
Look out!
Come on, Jimmy!
Professor! Handy form of defense, that!
Dini Mamo Palala, Mambodu Nurino, Loga Mshine Mfaro.
He is Palala, the chief of his tribe. And this is their home. He welcomes us to join him and his people, where we can all be safe.
Tell him we would be delighted.
Tapara.
Does this dance mean anything?
The dance speaks of the history of the tribe. It calls upon the gods to reunite the tribe, to heal the good ones.
The good ones?
The skeleton men and Chief Alala's people were all one once. They worship the dinosaurs as the embodiment of the spirit's will on Earth.
So how do you tell a good one from a bad one?
The plant-eating dinosaurs are the good ones. They represent the spirit's kindness. Chief Alala's people have lived in peace with them for centuries.
So, the bad ones are man-eaters then?
The man-eating dinosaurs are feared like evil gods or devils.
How did the tribes divide?
Not so long ago, the witch doctor convinced some of the other members of the tribe to worship the evil ones.
Good heavens!
Oh, no.
A baby pterodactyl. Poor little chap, you don't look so well.
It's sick, isn't it?
All the good ones are sick. The tribe tries to heal them. They dance every night for their recovery.
Hello, Percy.
It's fascinating. Quite a specimen. It all but confirms my theory of Jurassic extinction, all predicated on microbiologic contagion.
Your stupid theory? Is that all you care about, Professor? Living creatures are dying, and you're hatching a new theory.
He's gone. Huh?
I understand him, Anna. Shh, quiet. They're the same leaves they hung on us. They feed them to the dinosaurs. The plant is a medicine. Just as I had supposed.
Come on, I need some of those leaves!
Somebody, where in heaven's name have you been?
I was intrigued by those wreaths that the skeleton men put around our necks when they attempted to feed us to the dinosaurs. I wondered if that wasn't the point of the whole thing.
I'm afraid I don't follow you, Sammy.
Well, when you were a child, didn't your mother ever try and disguise your medicine in something sweet, chocolate, for example? That's the same concept here, Challenger. We were the chocolate, and these plants are the medicine.
Oh.
He likes it.
I think he likes it. It's a miracle, Professor.
Not really. Just good science.
You were right, Professor.
The Summerlee theory on the extinction of the dinosaur. They all became ill, some prehistoric version of the plague. And yet here there are some survivors. Ergo, the antidote must grow here on the plateau. And Amana was a brave young girl. She showed me the way.
Imana, Wagona.
Hello, little
Summerlee, that was a jolly good show. Well done.
And the water is distributed thusly, keeping the soil in optimal growing condition.
It's a wonder, Professor Summerlee. Modern horticulture to grow a prehistoric plant.
With the help of modern technology, Chief Palala's people should find a way to keep their good ones healthy and strong.
I'll wager that now that they've lost their leader, these skeleton people are anxious to rejoin the tribe.
Tisepalala, tauyaho, tirivana venyu. Takanga tiri kusanga uko, takarasika. Takatera kufunga kwemunhu mumwe chete, tikapanduka tikaenda. Zvino tava kuda kubatana, tive muri imwe, sezvatakanga takaita kare kose.
Chief Palala says he will do anything to repay you. What do you wish for?
Thank the great chief. Tell him our only request is that he show us a way down from this plateau and back to our own world.
Tino and the Kupi, Chiva Pano.
Saganak, Andy. What's he say, Malu?
Palala says he will do as we ask on one condition. He says we must all make a vow that we will return if his people need us. And we must all six return. He says our power is as a group.
Omo! Wakomana, wapure!
Funny, the compass is going wild.
Perhaps some volcanic or seismic disturbance. Without the compass, Challenger, how can we find our way out of this place?
Oh, come now, Samale. I'm sure the chief knows the way.
I think we're going around in circles.
Oh, do shut up, Samale.
What about over there?
Mallow, are we lost?
He hasn't been this way for many years.
This way, somebody. Don't get lost. Come on. Good heavens. Should have had a circus training for this, Samane. Still, at your university, I suppose anything went.
Thanks.
That's quite a load you got there, Jim. You want me to take it for a while?
No, I can handle it.
Due south again.
Look over here!
What did he say? He says they can go no further or they will be cursed by their ancestors. He says, do not forget your vow.
We shall not forget.
It even smells different down here.
It smells like home.
Now, if you drop the plumb line from the top of a pyramid, what you would have is a series of right-angled triangles to each corner. So it's quite possible that Pythagoras was influenced by the Egyptian mathematicians, because they were quite clearly sterling engineers. Our canoes! And Pujo!
Professor!
Pujo! My good friend! Oh, Pujo, it's so good to see you! Where are the others?
They are cowards. They hear strange noises and see giant bat. They leave. I tried to stop them.
But the faithful Pujo remain behind. Get down! Take cover! Get down, Jim.
Challenger! I knew you would return, just as I knew I would be here to miss you.
Let's see him.
I do not want to hurt the rest of you. I just want Challenger.
All right, all of you. Put your guns down.
What?
Do as I say. Put your guns down.
What are you doing, Challenger?
You'll all risk your necks proving my theories. I cannot endanger the lives of my friends any further.
Right, Jim.
All right, Gomez? Come out. Do your worst.
There he is.
Very large of you, Challenger. On your knees.
Go to hell.
Adios, Professor Challenger.
Look out!
The gun.
Should I kill him, Professor?
No. Let the jungle have him.
Goodbye, Edward.
Do you want to go back to England with us?
My life is here. I wouldn't be happy anywhere else. And as you know, this is quite a different world from London. This is my home. Edward.
Hope we meet again someday.
Jenny. A bit of Africa to remember us by.
Thank you, Malu. Oh, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Sensational challenger meeting tonight. Paper.
What's the meeting
I
about?
can make no comments. All I can say, gentlemen, is that you're at the right place for a great moment in history.
Tarp, good to see you. Same here. A good friend of yours along.
Mr. McCardle.
Good to have you back, Mr. Malone. Well, I must admit, you don't look any the worse for wear, eh?
Here they come.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished members, I stand before you tonight with irrefutable proof of the existence in the heart of Africa of the land that I discovered more than a year ago, the Lost World. Professor Summerlee has agreed to join me on this stand to support my claim.
Bravo!
Summerlee? Don't tell me he managed to pull the wool over your eyes. Your claims are preposterous.
Professor Murray, perhaps you would recap the evidence that we placed before your committee this afternoon.
Professor Challenger, we have examined the evidence, examined it very carefully, and we find that it proves nothing.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What about the photographs?
Easily faked.
Well, what about the reproductions of the rock paintings? The Scolosaurus, too. You can't say that that's faked.
It just does not stand up. Not when what you claim is so absolutely unbelievable.
You're both men of science. Surely you realize that the onus, the burden of proof is upon you.
You want proof? Maybe I can help you.
No idea.
On our adventure, I made a very good friend. I think it best that you all meet him.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished colleagues, let me present a creature thought extinct for millions of years. Percival, a baby pterodactyl. For the scientific experiment.
So then I said, well, what do you think, Mr. McArdle? Do you think now you can find a war for me to cover?
Jenny? I hardly recognized you.
Malu gave me this emerald when we left Kalimi.
It's beautiful.
Miss Nielsen, at the age of 12, I wrote my first scientific paper on the metamorphosis of the butterfly. Your transformation outshines anything I have ever seen.
Thank you, Professor Summerlee. It's a charming compliment.
Well, I propose that we drink a toast. To the five of us and our absent friend, Marlowe. 6 intrepid travelers who risked life and limb in the pursuit of science and adventure, and to that special land that we discovered, the Lost World.
The Lost World.
Closing time, ladies and gentlemen. The zoo will close in 5 minutes. Closing time. Hello. Closing in 5 minutes.
There he is.
Percy?
Percival looks very unhappy.
He must be. Alone in a cage all day long, with people poking at him and staring at him.
I'd love to take you home with me, Percy, but you'd probably rather be free.
You're not suggesting we, open the cage?
We're all alone here. Nobody need know who did it.
Oh, I don't know.
Hurry, Jen.
Come on, Percy. Come on.
Percival, fly. This is your last chance.
Percy, get going.
Go, Percy.
Fly! Goodbye, Percival.
Percy!
Oh. Goodbye, Percy.